Hello, this is Russ Wesley with Israel Study Tours, and I'd like you to join my wife, Nying, and I as we take you on a quick tour of the Sea of Galilee. Now in this episode, I'm going to concentrate on that area in the north, the villages of Capernaum and Chorazin, and then nestled in between the Mount of Beatitudes. The weather in the Galilee is beautiful all year long. The lake is beautiful, the landscape is beautiful, but to get the proper view of it, you need to come with me to the top of Mount Arbel. For the most part, the area around the Sea of Galilee is smooth, rolling hills. But on one end is that cliff face known as Mount Arbel, and it dominates the landscape. We'll drive to the top of that, and you will get a view of the Sea of Galilee that is just breathtaking. I mean, really, it is quite stunning. From up there, we can point out places we're going to visit, and if we're lucky, we may see some boats sailing on the Sea of Galilee. The Galilee boat ride is an experience you will not soon forget. Everybody loves the boat ride, and we'll certainly do that. There are two ways of looking at the boat ride. One, it's a nice, relaxing trip, but also it can be much more. Let's watch. Now, that's what I call dancing music. Another thing we'll do on the boat is watch one of the crew cast a net into the sea just like it would have been done over 2,000 years ago. And as he does this, you might imagine another fisherman casting his net, and Jesus walks by and says, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." From the boat, I'll be able to point out other areas of interest. For example, we might see the village of Capernaum. It's easily recognized because of its two dominating features. That black octagon building, which is a church built over St. Peter's house, and the synagogue of Capernaum. These two features are a major tourist attraction in the area. Of course, Capernaum is called the town of Jesus because this is where he had his base of operations. The synagogue that's there is not from the time of Jesus, but it's believed to have been built on the foundations of the synagogue that does date to the time of Jesus. The Gospels record many stories about Jesus in Capernaum. In Luke, his ministry starts with these words, "And he went down to Capernaum, a city of Galilee, and was teaching them on the Sabbaths. And they were astonished at his teaching, for his word was with authority." While we're there, we'll just imagine Jesus coming into this synagogue, teaching them on the Sabbath, performing miracles. It says he even cast out a demon in this synagogue. Let's turn our attention now to Peter's house. This is the place where Jesus lived in Capernaum. In Matthew we read, "And now when Jesus had come to Peter's house, he saw his wife's mother lying sick with a fever. So he touched her hand, and the fever left her, and she arose and served them." Today the church is built over these ruins. You can see that these ruins were significant because they've been added on to and expanded over time. In recent years, this church has been built over those ruins. Time permitting, we'll go inside the church and look down through that glassed area and see Peter's house. Remember, this is where Jesus lived. Okay, let's use our imaginations again. We're standing outside the church, but there's no church there. It's the village of Capernaum. We'll see this shoreline, and time permitting, we'll walk along this shoreline. And just think about it. 2,000 years ago, there was a village here of Capernaum, had a major fishing industry with fishermen who had to mend their nets daily, and it's right in this area where Jesus called John and James while they were mending their nets. Just to the north of Capernaum is the Mount of Beatitudes. Now this church marks the traditional spot where Jesus gave his famous Sermon on the Mount. This church has a beautiful garden, and I like to stop there and teach a lesson. There are many things we can learn from the Mount of Beatitudes, but there's one lesson I traditionally like to give while I'm there. Now, this is a beautiful church. They have an area where you can walk around. We'll pause here. They have a chapel. You can certainly go in and pray. We'll take time for that. But just enjoy the view. Take some time for some reflection before we head off to the next stop. That next stop takes us a little further north to the village of Chorazin. Now, this is a place that's kind of hidden away in the Galilee, and not a lot of tourists go there. But I like to go there. There's more ruins. There's a synagogue that probably dates from the time of Jesus. But what I like there is the Moses seat. Jesus speaks about the Moses seat. You'll actually be able to see one. Here's another one of them places where we'll have to put on that imagination again. As we walk through these ruins, we'll have to realize that this was once a bustling city. It's one of the 3 cities where Jesus performed most of his miracles: Capernaum, Bethsaida, and Chorazin. Yet, because of their unbelief, Jesus pronounced a curse on them, and this is what they look like today. Well, we hope you've enjoyed this little clip. Come visit us and get your picture taken on the Moses seat. You can go to our website, israelstudytours.com, or to my teaching website, wisdomofagur.org. You can contact me from there. Shalom.